Welcome to Cited. I'm your host, 𝐟𝐸𝐫, and trust me, today we are going to get knee deep into it. My guest today is no stranger to the mic, no stranger to viral conversations, and no stranger to shaking the table. You know her as the former co-host of the hit online show Tonight's Conversation, where she helped bring raw, unfiltered discussions straight to the people. But behind the scenes, the conversations were even more heated. The power struggles were real, and the fallout, well, let's just say it was anything but pretty. Today, Randi Rossario and 𝐼𝐸𝐫, two former co-hosts of Tonight's Conversation, are here to set the record straight. What really went down with the show's creator, Ace Metaphor? And what's behind the abuse allegations? How did friendships turn into betrayals and hush money offers? Is there more to the story than the audience ever knew? We're diving into it all. So Randi, thank you so much for joining me here on Cited. I'm really happy to have you. How are you?
Listen, first off, thank you for having me. This place is beautiful. You're beautiful. Thank you for the energy. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
Good. So we're gonna jump right into this conversation if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So first, I want to get some real information for the people that are not familiar, just so that they hear the backstory, if you will. Tonight's Conversation is a very, very popular show, but lately it's been in the dumpster fire, according to people online. So I want to start with what initially drew you to this project, and what were your expectations going into it?
Okay, so honestly, I didn't really have any real expectations. I didn't know how long it was going to last. I didn't really know people that were involved. I just know I got a message via Instagram. My husband and I were driving home from a restaurant, and I had a DM from Ace.
Okay.
He messaged me. We had never spoken before. He didn't know me. I didn't know him. And he said, hey, I'm putting together this podcast, and I would like for you to come record with us. My immediate response was, how much? Because y'all don't be talking about no money. What's up? And, he threw a figure out there to me, and I said, cool, I'll connect you with my husband because my husband handles all my business. And I did.
Can you walk me through what your first impression was of Ace Metaphor, the show's creator?
I thought the production itself was professional. It was, schedule set up. You got your call times to be on set. The production crew was really nice. The talent was very nice. It was a very professional setup. You had we called it Heaven and Hell. Our first time recording, we were in the Dayton Art Institute, and the hell was in the theater. That's where we were having the more spicy conversations about relationships and just other things like that. But then upstairs in heaven, they were using like just the open room there, and they were having just less ratchet conversations, just more peaceful. I felt like I wanted to be in heaven. I kept saying, can I go over there to that podcast? I don't like yelling. I don't like the back and forth. I don't like the tension. I mean, I'm good at it because I'm good at having conversations, and I'm good at, you throw me in a ring on anything, I'm gonna do well. Honestly, that's just how I show up. But I preferred being on the calmer podcast because I don't like getting worked up. We gonna fight. I'm only gonna talk to you so much.
Right.
All that yelling back and forth, that is disrespectful. It's gonna go there eventually.
Okay.
So I wanted to be on a nice podcast.
Okay, but that didn't work out.
It didn't work out. They didn't even give me a chance.
So what were the first red flags, would you say?
The very first red flags I would say was one of my cast members coming to me and telling me that Ace told her that he needed to watch me, because if anybody could handle business the way he did and put on a production the way he does, it would be me.
Okay. And she came back and told you that?
Of course.
Well, you know what they say, a dog will take a bone to bring a bone. Is that how it goes?
Okay.
All right. All right. So talk to me about the workplace, the environment as a whole. So there's been a lot of talk online about hostile work environments, and but I want you to tell it from your perspective.
Absolutely. The workplace environment was it always felt like high school. Okay. It was always like, so we would record, and then when we got done recording, one group would go over there and one group would go over there, and you knew that those groups were talking about each other. Okay. You knew that we weren't leaving it on the set. You knew that somebody was in their feelings about something that was said about whatever. It was always separation and divisiveness. And I've just never been good at that, because if I don't like you, I don't like you. If I don't rock with you, I don't rock with you. I know how to be cordial to people, but I'm not going to sit around pretending. And I just always felt like there was a lot of pretending going on. Unnecessarily too, because it's like, yo, if you don't like somebody or you don't want to be friends with somebody, you don't have to build beyond business. Let's sit here, record, go about our business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So were they hanging out with each other outside of the production?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, after we would get done recording, or even after live shows, everyone goes out. Everyone goes out to eat, or, you know, they go out to the club and things like that. And I used to go out with them sometimes too, until I stopped.
Okay, so I want to really get deep into this for anybody who we lost in transition anywhere, to really make it clear for them. There's 2 cast members. We have Keita Rose and Kitty. They get into it. Where did things go wrong with them, and how did it incorporate you?
So I was always the person kind of trying to play peace in the middle until I was just kind of over it. When Kitty was first invited to the show and introduced to the cast, she was very standoffish with us and didn't want to be around us. When we asked her basically why, and we all kind of got to be a little bit closer, she informed us that Ace and his manager, Natasha, told her that Keita and I don't really like new people. We weren't going to be nice and receptive to her and things like that. That's alleged. That's what Kitty told me directly.
Okay, so as a result of him kind of forewarning her of you guys, she chose to take the standoffish role and say, I'm not even gonna, you know, interact with them because they're not gonna receive me.
That's what it felt like.
Okay.
But then in DC last year, there was a situation where Ace was almost intentionally mixing up the names between the two.
Okay.
So this is something that I always felt like he did intentionally to try to replace us. We had Trill AC come in, and we have Trip. Those names are very close. We had Mandy come in, and we have me, Randi. Those names are really close. We have Kitty Rose and Keita Rose. Those names are really close. I felt like it was because he felt like those are going to be easy fillers. Cool. We got her here. We can get her out of here then if necessary, and people won't care.
And were those people, did they have similar personalities at all?
A little bit, but not too much.
Okay.
Not too much. Not over the top. But basically, in my opinion, from the time Kitty came in, she had it out for Keita. From the time that Kitty joined the crew, she wanted to be known as the top woman at tonight's conversation. Period. There was no if, there was no buts, there was no other way around it. And when she saw Keita getting the love that she got, when she saw her getting the reception that she got, it was a green envy in her that I had never seen before in nobody.
Now, you've never discussed this publicly.
No.
What inspired you to be willing to share some of these, you know, deep points and perspectives? Because people are really invested in this show. You guys have a fan base. Some people have been there from the very beginning, and you've chose to take the high road, which you are still doing because you are not being disrespectful to anyone at all. What made you feel like, you know what, I'm gonna speak out. I'm gonna say what's going on?
A couple things made me speak out. Number one, I finally got the truth as to what happened.
Okay.
So for the last 7 or 8 months, I didn't know exactly why I was shut out. I didn't know why I was blocked by everyone. I didn't know why communication stopped and it went radio silent. I had no idea. So for 7 or 8 months, I sat with myself and said, what did I do? How can I be a better person? Because we all play a role in something. Nobody's hands are completely clean in this situation at all. Like, this environment is a gossip environment.
Absolutely.
Period. And you can only be as good as your leader in situations.
Absolutely.
And that's just what it boils down to. He created an environment that lacked trust and that was full of gossip.
And why?
I will honestly say that I participated in some of the 𝐾𝐿 with the gossiping, and I thought that's initially what everybody was mad at me about.
Okay.
So I'm like, that's crazy that y'all mad about some gossip when y'all gossip about me. Like, that's the name of the game here. This is what y'all do. This is a messy place.
Okay.
So when I finally found out what actually happened and the lies that were being told, no, I can't be quiet anymore. And also, I feel like another reason why I was quiet, number one, I didn't know what was going on. But number two, God told me to be quiet. God told me, I got this. Relax. Because if you don't relax, you're going to crash out.
Okay.
And you have way too much to lose to crash out.
Okay.
I have 3 kids. I have a husband. I have a mom and a dad. I have multiple businesses. I couldn't have crashed out like that. I couldn't do it.
Okay.
So during this time, I sat back, I wrote a book, I created another space in a safe space for women called Sis I Get It. And it's just a space where we can all heal together for real. Because we've all been through friendship breakups. We all been through messy stuff. But how do we get past it?
Okay. What were some of the deceptive things that you felt Ace, the show's creator, was doing while you were on the show? And then tell me about, you went radio silent yourself as well to give yourself some time to figure out what exactly was going on and what you wanted to do. But after you launched your own show, and what was that process like for you, and how did you figure out exactly what was going on?
I actually started my show while I was still there.
Okay, and was he receptive to that?
Not at all.
Okay.
He called me the day we were recording season 1 and was yelling. He was upset and literally throwing temper tantrums because he wasn't invited to be on the show.
Really? Okay.
Yes. I still have all these text messages.
Okay.
I literally could have been cleared all of this. But he sent me messages about how he felt like I was intentionally leaving him off my show to punish him as a get back.
Were there other cast members that were on the show?
Yes, it was 2.
Okay.
𝐃𝐨 and Kitty.
Really?
Yes.
First of all, tell me how you found out. Like, how did you find out that you were being shut out? Like, how did that information come to you?
It was the second part of a question that I didn't answer from your first question
Yeah.
in regards to once I started the show.
Yes, you said he got upset.
He got really, really upset.
Okay.
He was messaging us, messaging me. His assistant named Sam was actually on my show set as one of the producers, and she pretended to be sick so she could go to her room because he made her feel so bad for being there. Ace is a control freak.
Okay.
If he cannot control the situation, he will ruin the situation. I don't know if he's diagnosed narcissistic, but if he's undiagnosed, that makes sense. He needs some treatment. He has an issue with triangulating people. And when he does that, it creates a hostile space. So he'll do something like go tell 𝐃𝐨 or try to plant seeds with 𝐃𝐨 that I'm not her friend.
Okay.
Like, oh, she's jealous of you. Yeah,
Okay.
she kind of said she didn't really be on shows with you. I never said stuff like that. So he will plant seeds like that just to make you feel like, oh, that person isn't really for me, or that person really don't have my back. And
Right.
Whenever he saw 𝐃𝐨 and I becoming too close, he would want to ruin it.
Okay, and that's a very interesting tactic, because when you do reality show TVs, that's kind of the direction that production takes in order to create hostile environments with people that they want to go at each other. They'll just plant those type of seeds. So now let me ask you this question. Did Ace ever try to silence you because you were quiet? So I want to know, what was the reason for that? Did he ever offer you any hush money, and why?
So he never tried to silence me directly initially. Initially, it was passive-aggressive things. He would do things like post pictures of me on their flyers or run ads with videos that had me in it, basically saying, hey, these people are going to be in your city, the upcoming dates and these things like that.
But you weren't going to be in those
And I wasn't going to
cities.
be there.
Okay.
So had that never happened, I would have never made a post about not being there anymore. The only reason why I made a post about not being there anymore is because I had to tell my audience, hey, I know y'all seeing these videos with these ads, but no, I'm no longer a part of that podcast. I'm no longer over there. Wish them well. I don't know what's going on, but y'all enjoy the show if y'all want to watch it. I'm over here with it, though.
Got it.
Okay, so initially, upon the separation, no money was offered to me at all.
Okay.
Although he told people allegedly that he gave me $30,000 or $40,000 to make me be quiet and to silence me and just get rid of the problem. How I found out how everything came out and, the truth is because a few weeks, I can't tell 𝐃𝐨's story, but him and 𝐃𝐨 had a situation.
Okay.
And upon seeing that situation, I reached out to her and told her, hey, I'm praying for you. Congratulations on speaking up for yourself. And we end up talking. What people have to realize, we've been doing this show for 3 years. There's been some highs, there's been some lows. Nobody in this situation is perfect, like I said. When we got to talk, it was very emotional, and it felt like someone that felt betrayed. When 𝐃𝐨 explained to me that Kitty told her that I leaked her address at home And that's why she blocked me. And that's why everybody blocked me. It was immediately heartbreaking because you guys have known me for 2.5 years and have never known me to do no weird or no crazy stuff like that. But when this person from the outside comes in and says they might know some tea or some information, you run with it. You don't check with me. You don't call me. You don't check fact. You do nothing. You literally just block me on everything.
Okay.
And it's all of them. I don't mean just it wasn't just 𝐾𝐿 that blocked me. And honestly, I saw people in comments like, well, why are you even talking to her and things like that. I understand 𝐾𝐿's stance. As a mom, I understand her stance. And as someone that just has a logical mindset, I understand it. You had my former virtual assistant coming at you with someone that I used to be friends with on the show. So you have two people that look like reliable sources coming at you, not realizing the virtual assistant has been manic and going through things and going through mental health issues, which is why she's mad at me and why she ends up quitting.
Now, before you continue, because I know a lot of my followers have similar thought processes like me, what exactly is a virtual assistant?
A virtual assistant is somebody that can help you with things virtually, but not like she never had like my Instagram logins and stuff like that. For example, what she did help with was creating clips for my show, Let's Rant About It.
Got it.
So that the website that I showed you, I taught her how to navigate and because you can edit in that too. You can edit, like really get
young
into
people
it.
shit. You know, they make up new terms for shit. That ain't no Gen Z shit. What's the new people? What's the new thing they call it? Bad babies or something. It's the new terms. Just be making shit up, okay? All right, so now tell me this. Getting back on track, were there ever any moments behind the scenes that made you feel like, you know what, this is about to explode. It's going to go down.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about one of those type of situations.
November 2023.
Because there are rumors about interactions going on with other co-hosts and things like that. Was that happening?
Yes.
Okay.
It all was happening. Let's go to November 2023. Ace was very upset because I helped smooth the situation in regards to 𝐾𝐿 and Kitty out.
Okay.
They ended
He
up...
wanted them to be in conflict, allegedly.
Correct. That's what he likes. He likes when people are in conflict. And when I was able to help smooth that situation out, he called me because 𝐾𝐿 called him like, you better have your stuff in order. Don't play with me. I guess he took that as a threat. He called me screaming. And this is probably the first time my husband is full-blown hearing this story, honestly, because I didn't know how to take this to my husband because I like my husband being free.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
He called me screaming. He told me that I am pathetic and that nobody is my friend and I need to do the shows and then go to my room afterwards.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He said that basically nobody on the show liked me and that you just always doing too much. Like he literally called me going off. And I said, let that be your last time talking to me like that.
Hold on now.
It's just a very awkward situation to be in. You're making decent money. You're doing good for yourself. Your career is finally going in a decent direction. And then something like this happened. Like, what do you do?
Right.
Like,
Right.
how do you, like, what's the next move? So I like to think I'm not a weak person, but when I hear 𝐾𝐿 talking about financial abuse, this is what it is. You feel like you can talk to me any kind of way because you pay me. And you make jokes about that regularly on stage. You feel like, oh, I can say that, I pay you. No, you can't. It's hurtful. It breaks people. It makes you insecure. It makes you feel like your self-worth isn't there. But I still figured out a way to stand up for myself in that moment and let him know, like, hey, let that be that last time you talk to me like that.
Good.
And I called his manager immediately. When I called her and told her what was said, she abruptly cut me off and said, wanting friends, pathetic, that's him. Never mind, let me bite my tongue. Never mind, let me bite my tongue. And then about an hour and a half or 2 hours later, he called me apologizing. And that was that. We had a show in a couple weeks And what do you do in that moment? Like, do you stand your ground and say, oh, F you, I'm about to quit? Or do you figure out how to put on your big girl panties and move on?
Absolutely. I understand that completely.
Like, because you don't want to be labeled as the problem. And that was
Right.
that was another reason why I didn't want to speak out and just go. Because I know my personality. I know how fiery I come across. I know how confident I come across. But everybody had a limits. Everybody has that thing that is just gonna stop you in your tracks. And you know, me being from Detroit, I'm the type of person that's I'm gonna stand strong. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big dog a situation. But how do you big dog a situation when your boss is calling you, screaming at you? How do you big dog a situation when you like, dang, me being in this position is able to help my parents a lot more? Or it's able to make it so me and my husband can go on vacation once a month dang there. Like, it's not, my husband never relied on that money to pay our bills, thank God. Because if so, I would have been screwed.
Right.
But it's still my money.
It's kind of like what a lot of people talk about now, where they're in these positions with their employers, and their employers take advantage of them because they know that they're relying on that income. So sometimes, thank God you have the support of your husband, because sometimes women are even put into these situations where they're like, I have to do this because I don't want to get fired, or I don't want to not be able to, move up the ladder. So it is a very uncomfortable, I can imagine, an uncomfortable situation.
And that's how I felt regularly. I felt like, let me just bite my tongue because I'm going to end up in a bad predicament over here. Like, it's even been times on stage where, I'll be ready to say something and he'll just completely cut me off. So much so to the point when we were in Chicago last year, people walked up to me after the show like, does he have an issue with you? Like, does he not like you?
So they were able to see it. Now, you were in a lots of conflict on air with another guest that we have here today. And I don't know, we'll see what the dynamic is between the two of you. But before we go any further, I want to welcome and introduce Rico. Thank you for joining us, Rico. All right.
That's good, my boy.
Okay. Hello. Thank you for being here.
Thank you
So
for
Rico,
having me.
yes, absolutely. Thank you for being here. You were one of the original co-hosts on tonight's conversation. Tell us how you first got involved in the show.
You mean help create it?
Oh.